Hey everyone, welcome to Horrible Gaming. My name is Nora and on today's video we are building a huge school build. Many of you know I have like this weird obsession like placing schools almost on every single city core that I make. I just really enjoy building them. They're really fun to do and I've been really wanting to make an updated school build for 2.0. So this build is going to consist of a ton of new items and also some new layout ideas that you can recreate on your island. Before we get started, I'd appreciate if you'd hit that like, subscribe, and notify button if you want to see more content like this in the future. It truly does help me grow as a creator, so the support really would mean a lot. All codes that I'm using on today's build will be found in the video's description as well. So let me know what y'all think about this build today in the comment section below too, because it's a pretty big build. This video is going to be a lot longer than most of my content because we're doing a ton of interactive builds. We're including some decorating as well, and I have a huge soccer field and track area that I'll be building today as well. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fit all the content into this video. I might have to do some clip transitions, like skip forward a little bit, but I'm going to do my best to try to capture each area and all the decorating as much as possible. Also want to apologize if you're new to my channel. My voice is very scratchy today. I actually just went through oral surgery a few days ago, so I'm still kind of transitioning back into talking a lot, so bear with me as my voice probably sounds really weird. So unlike bookshelves, this school build is going to be using the wide display shelf for the building exterior. I love this item. It is like the holy grail of city core building for me, and I love just how it adds more of a realistic texture and width to our city core builds. You can also reverse it and skip the simple panels and display the actual window of the display case as a actual school window too, if that's the way you want to build it as well. This would also reduce some lag on your island, but I just love adding as much detail to my school builds as possible, so definitely make any adjustments and changes as needed to suit your island best. During this build, I changed codes, especially like the school floor, a bajillion times, so you might see my floor change throughout the video, and also just some minor edits as I make through the building process. Sometimes that happens to me. My original layout doesn't always work and I make adjustments to dimensions and stuff, so I'll let y'all know what I change if I have to skip said footage of me literally changing my mind a bajillion times. Also, if you're new to my channel, all of my builds are completely like me just going with the flow and winging it. I know that's not realistic for everybody, which is why I started my YouTube channel. And I'm hoping that this inspo will help someone get their school build started on their island. Maybe you want to make a school and you just don't know how to go about the other layouts. I do recommend checking out my school build playlist. This video is actually inside said playlist. We have a few other school layouts that you can refer to. And if you don't have space for such a large build, don't worry, there is a smaller school build that I did create recently, and I can do some more minimalistic styled schools too in the future. But I wanted this anime styled island to be heavily focused on the high school, so I'm putting a lot of detail into it for that reason. I wanted to make sure that this would be the main focus for my first Japanese 2.0 island. So I actually started this island 3 days ago and I'm already nearly done with it. I was not expecting me to go on a grind like I have been. I've been really enjoying the theme. I forgot how much I love doing Japanese inspired islands. So I'm definitely going to be doing some more Japanese content as well in the future. So if you're one of my Japanese followers, that content is never going to leave my channel. It is always going to be something I provide as I get time. I just try to do other aesthetics as well because not everyone is doing a Japanese theme. So on the other spot we were just at, I filled that in with my panels and my display shelves just like we've been doing, and then I went ahead and filled in the first level of the school with this beautiful wood pattern, and now I'm just going to go ahead and add 2 bookshelves here, and I actually ended up removing these for another display shelf in the future, so skip this part and just use a display shelf there. And now I'm just going to go ahead and place more wide display shelves right here. I'm not even going to bother putting any panels right here. I want to try to make this as less laggy as possible. However, if you want to put panels there just for the extra detail, feel free to add those, but I just didn't think it was that important. And once again, I'm just going to be adding more display shelves. I know it looks like a lot of items, but remember in the past, on my other videos, we were using a crud ton of bookshelves. This is actually less items, and it had hardly any lag, which you'll see later in the video once it's fully decorated. So you'll be pretty shocked how well these display shelves are holding up now because of the item reducing that we've been able to do. And I also wanted to show y'all how it's looking from the bottom level. As you can see, it's starting to really feel realistic, and I was very excited about this school. I've been trying to improve on how my schools look every single time I do a city core island, because I've noticed that as I keep practicing with them, I get better at the layouts and just how they flow in general. So I'm hoping to continue to practice and give y'all more school layouts for your island. I'm very excited about this one. I'm excited to have y'all visit this island once it's finished, because I've been really pouring my heart into this school build. So long story short, I actually wasn't able to fit every single idea onto this school build. I was talking to my Discord mods earlier, and I was like, oh, I finally was able to do everything I wanted for this city core build. Joke's on me, I was not able to add a cafeteria or toilets or any of that. So maybe on a future school build, I'll be able to include those. Every time I make a school, I swear I find things that I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have added this. And this school, I mean, today I'm showing y'all, has a lot of the things that I was wishing I would have included in previous builds. So I guess next school build, we'll see how it goes. Another new item I'm enjoying so much for city core is called safety railing. It is a beautiful modern styled railing, and it looks awesome on city cores like we're doing today. I definitely recommend it if you're trying to go for a modern city. So yeah, this is definitely my new favorite item as well. And we're going to be using these on my balconies and just for extra details throughout the school. The next room I made was a music room, and I went ahead and fast forward all the decorating because I changed my mind so many times on the layout. So that's how it ended up turning out. And now I'm just going to go ahead and continue adding some decorations up on this balcony. So my plan from this first balcony that I'm making is going to overlook the soccer and track field. So I'm very excited actually how this build ended up turning out. I was hoping we were going to be able to see it well from this view. So you'll see that build also included in today's video, as well as how to make bleachers. I also went ahead and created my next classroom, which still needs some details, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill all this terraform in, and this is going to be another small classroom. It's going to be actually a art room, and then we're going to do another balcony that's going to eventually overlook the parking lot. I went ahead and placed an incline here, and I'm just making this into a really small hallway, and this is going to help lead towards the track and soccer area. Next, I lined the front of the windows over here with the pine tree and also different size hardwood trees too. You can stop the growth of a tree by planting a piece of fruit all around it. It doesn't matter what side you do it, as long as it's next to the tree's stump. So now let's go ahead and start making our track field with our soccer field inside of it. I'm going to go ahead and start framing it. I'm going to do just a big rectangular shape. I wish I could have added more lines and more detail to this, but I'm obviously running out of design slot space, so I had to compromise. And I'm just going to go ahead and fill all of this in, and I'll go back and forth from that balcony to make sure the perspective is looking right from that view. So you're going to see me go back and forth quite a bit with that. Next, I'm going to go ahead and start on the soccer part, and I actually ended up making some design changes with the soccer field design, mostly because I couldn't fit all the required pieces for it. I actually found this design on Pinterest, but I wasn't able to use every single piece for it. So hopefully Nintendo gives us some more design slots in the future. I really hope so, because I really wanted to add more details to this, but I still think it turned out pretty dang cute. And again, I'll have the code also in the video's description too. Now I'm going to go ahead and make a nice little pathway that leads in front of the soccer field, but I don't want to use too much of this path. I want to keep this area pretty natural, full of grass, just like in real life. The school I grew up, our soccer field area had a lot of grass. It was really green, and it just had a lot of dirt too. So I'm trying to kind of go for that inspiration for this spot. So we're going to try to keep it pretty simple for that reason. Not to mention, using less custom design codes means your island is not going to lag as much, so it's a bonus with that too. So now, since Nintendo won't give us bleachers, let's go ahead and make some. We're going to be using, obviously, Terraform as the base. I'm going to be using 2 levels of that. We're going to be using the lecture hall seat, and then we're also going to be using the Sanrio hallway item. So you'll see how these look once we start placing them, and we're also going to be using the stadium light too. I also want to add, after we finish this tutorial today, I'll also do a walkthrough of my island progress. I'm pretty confident I'm going to get this island done within the week, so once it's done, we'll do an island tour on my channel, and I'll also release the dream address here and on my Instagram, which is also linked in the video's description too, in case you want to go check me out. So while I was editing this video, I noticed I am missing the bleacher build footage. I am super upset about this because I worked really hard on this build. However, once I get towards the finished product, I'll explain how to do the item layering and how the general placement worked out for the build. All I did behind the safety railing though was place a row of lecture hall seats. Again, I did the dark brown color, and then I repeated the hallway behind the lecture seats. Then I did my second level at Terraform and repeated the same design on that second level. I'm super sorry that that footage is missing. I was unaware that OBS was not recording during this, so again, apologies for that. Anyways, now I'm just adding some details where this incline is. I want to make a really nice walkway, use the item fence, and then I want to use also some hedges and more cherry blossom trees. So let's go ahead and just fill this in. Now that we got our hedges down, we're going to be using an item that's literally called fence. Like, that is what they decided to name this. And I feel like that's super confusing because we refer to, obviously, the materials as fencing when we place them. And I was actually really sad if they were going to call it a fence. Why doesn't it stack like a normal fence does? I know it's an item, it's not technically fencing, but I mean, that's the whole purpose of this item. So it was definitely a weird decision on Nintendo's end, but I'm really obsessed with this item. It replaced the jail bar item for me, as I used to use jail bars a lot on my city core build. So I'm really excited about this item and looking forward to using this item too in future builds. So my plan behind the fence item is actually going to be the start of my parking lot, and I wanted this to feel very realistic, and I was really excited. Even though it is a simple parking lot build, I felt like it turned out really realistic feeling, and I just thought it looked really cute in general, so I'm really excited to share this with you. I honestly can't remember if I recorded the parking lot, so apologies if I didn't. This build took me about 8 hours to do, so those who are always saying in the comment section, Nora, why don't you do real-time builds? This is why. I literally had to edit so much footage out because I changed my mind on a bajillion things. So doing speed builds when it comes to things like this are very convenient for that reason. So I apologize if you don't know all the items that I'm using. It's unrealistic for me to list out every single item that I'm using. So I apologize again for that. But if you see an item throughout the video, please don't be afraid to ask me what the item is in the comment section below. So again, apologies for that. And I'm just now going to go ahead and fill in more details around the track field. Also, if you are somebody who needs slower content and just more one-on-one help, tune into my live streams. There is no set live stream schedule. I'm a mother in real life, so I do this as time allows. So make sure you do have those notifications turned on. But my builds obviously take a lot longer on a live stream, but you get to hang out with me, you get to know me better as a creator, and it's a really fun experience. So I'm hoping to start live streaming again in the next few days. Again, I'm still healing from that surgery that I had this week, and I don't think I can handle talking for roughly 3 hours quite yet. So I'm going to be putting out a few more speed builds throughout the week. I'm probably going to try to record more of this island progress as I play, because I am pretty sure it's going to be done in a couple of days. But that's all right. That means we'll have a new island for live streaming. So we'll see what happens. I'm not quite sure what my next theme is going to be quite yet. I do have several islands that I've been working on, but sometimes I like flip-flop my themes and change what theme I want to work on randomly. Sometimes I hit walls. I mean, we all do. I mean, so many of us sometimes are struggling on our own island and we're like, oh, I don't know what to build. I just don't feel inspired. And that happens to me quite a bit too. So I'm going to see what speaks to me after I finish this island. I know I want to do several Asian themed islands. I'm just not sure if I want to do them back to back yet, but just wanted to throw that out there. It is planned that I'm going to be doing several different aesthetics around that. So again, if you are somebody who follows me for Japanese content and just Asian inspired builds in general, I promise I am not like stopping that anytime soon. So right here, I'm just gonna do a simple bike filler parking lot for students. You can obviously decorate here however you please, but that's just what I decided to do. And while we're on the topic of schools, was anybody else super salty that Nintendo did not give us the DLC buildings for our own island? Honestly, when I saw the trailer, I was hoping that we would get that expansion and option from Nook to build said buildings if we wanted them on our own island, because it gives us more city core structures and we would have a legit school on our island. Don't get me wrong, I really love doing school builds like this, but if I can try to reduce as much item loading and lag on my island, I mean, that's ideal. We all want that. So I was really bummed out about this. Maybe we'll get it in a future game or maybe a surprise update. So Nintendo, give it to us. We want the buildings, because I really wanted to also do like restaurants on my island themes too. And it's just a bummer that I won't be able to do that unless I do like an expansion with a second account on my island. You can have up to 8 players on your island. So I'm probably going to be doing some extra player homes just for realism on this build and stuff for that reason, but it's just a bummer that we didn't get those DLC buildings. And once again, using my favorite item, Sonic Heater. I love staging this as a modern trash can. Look, I know we got new trash items, but I love anything that looks like trash because I am trash. Trash gives me life. Trash bags are my cottage core. So we're gonna use as much trash items as we can on any city core. So once again, using that item, it's one of my favorite go-tos. I do it almost on every single city core that I use. If you don't want to use the Sauna Heater as a modern style trash can, you can definitely use the new 2.0 item update. But from one trash lover to another, I definitely recommend using it. And now our school build is pretty much done. I'm going to go ahead and give you a tour of my island progress as well as some minor decoration edits that I made to the build. I also decorated the remaining rooms on the school too, so feel free to take any inspiration from this build for your own island. Let me know what you thought about today's build in the comment section below, and also some things you hope to see from me in the future. I really wanted to add more decorations to this, but I want to try to reduce the lag and item loading as much as possible for this build. So if I had, a better console or in a perfect world, there was no item loading, this would have a lot more detail. I'm still very happy though with how this build turned out, and I really hope y'all enjoy it too. And once we leave that classroom, we're going over to the art room. I'm very excited about how this room turned out. I found the tiles on Criteria Search Tile. This is why I'm always telling y'all on my live streams to use Criteria Search. There is some awesome designs on there, and I find a lot of my codes through it. So here is a simple locker room that I did, and since I don't have the footage for the next thing I added to the school, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to that footage right now to show you what I did. So now let's go ahead and see the things that I didn't get to add in this video. So we're gonna go ahead and walk up this road. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing on that empty space yet. I might move another villager house there or a second player home, but you go up this incline behind the school, and I actually layered several of my villager houses here. The reason why is I wanted to try to reduce the lag in this location as much as possible, but it kind of gives like some city core roof-like textures behind in the distance, which I really loved. So here is how my parking lot turned out. I really like how realistic it feels, and then we're gonna go ahead and talk about the bleachers up here. Keep in mind, because this is meant to be a perspective build, it's gonna look kind of wonky from this angle, but I think it turned out pretty dang cute. It's inspired by my friend Emla, so I give her full credit for the idea. Anyways, let's go ahead and go towards the track and field location. That way you can see how the bleachers look from its correct perspective. This is also a super minor detail, but I added some more sakura petals in the actual soccer field, and I thought that also looked really nice too. And here's how the bleachers look from the first level. I'm very excited about this whole entire build. I tried to add as much realism and detail into it as I could without it lagging. And yeah, let me know what y'all thought about it in the comment section below. And things you hope to see on this island. Keep in mind, it's nearly done, so I might not be able to fit that much content onto it because the school takes up quite a bit of space. I wanted, again, the main focus of the island to be the high school, but I do appreciate ideas for future themes in case I can't fit everything on this one. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and have a horrible day. I'll see you next video.